William Penn Jr., Chief of Police for the Winston-Salem Police Department. Born and raised in Winston-Salem. Right beside me is Angela G. Penn, my mom. She's been my mom my entire life. So.
Thank you.
And then my dad, William Penn Sr. When you talk about what Winston-Salem means to me, the fact that I grew up here, and so I got to start with the church. I spent almost every Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was for choir rehearsal, and then Sunday was actual church. So Mount Carmel Missionary Baptist Church, 3230 Heitman Drive. I remember that because that was on the announcements almost every Sunday. So I did. I was on the youth choir, and I was on the usher board. So again, every Saturday, Sunday, this is where we were. We spent a lot of time in church, and so that's, I guess, you say I learned some leadership. I was president of the Buds of Promise choir, and what that had to stand up in front of the church. We'd sing. Every now and then, as president, I'd have to say something. We'd do the welcomes, and so that's kind of some of the beginnings of my memory of Winston-Salem. And
growing up and being a part of the choir and of the church and the neighborhood, and it was his sister and him, and they did amazing things in the church. So I think that had a lot to do with him, with what he's doing now. I think he did very good, has done a very good job from there to here. You know, I think my son did a really good job, has done a really good job, and I'm looking forward to him doing, more and better, and every day being a part of the church and the community and all that.
Tell them how long y'all been married.
How long have you been married?
We've been married 57 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Never been separated, always been together, and we raised 4 children. We are so happy and proud of our 4 children. Our 1 son and 3 daughters, and that really feels really good.
So this is Crawford Park. Well, growing up, I didn't know it was named Crawford Park. It was just the park in the Hole. The neighborhood I grew up was affectionately known as the Hole, and I'll show you why it's called the Hole here shortly. But this is where, after school and the weekends, we come here, we play basketball. Most of my friends lived down on Oak Ridge Drive in this area, so we'd come and we'd play basketball here. Almost like the church, there was another candy house, so we'd go to the candy house and we'd buy candy to snack on, and then we'd come back up here and just hang out. So loved playing basketball up here, loved hanging out with my friends in this area. There's a lot more kids during that time, so there was always something to do. We'd listen to music up here, we'd pick on each other, we'd rib each other innocently up in this direction, and this is kind of where we spent our time when we weren't involved in school activities. Dill pickle was 50 cents, a piece of Laffy Taffy was a quarter, a small bag of chips were like 25 cents or 50 cents. So we know that's different now with inflation, but those were the good old days. $2, you could eat all day. So I grew up in a neighborhood affectionately called the Hole. And the reason it's called the Hole is down here at Butterfield, as you can see, there's a hole here. And so the first time I ever told someone I grew up in the Hole, they said, you can't call your neighborhood like that, but it's okay to call this place the Hole. That's what we all call it. And this is where we would walk around and hang out in the area called the Hole. Intersection of Oak Ridge, Butterfield. I lived up the street. Every day after school, this is where you could see me coming up here towards the park or towards that area I showed you where was the Hole. This is where I played with my friends, hung out, and even went to the candy house from time to time. We're going through chronicling how I grew up. Carver played a key part in my development. So that's why I saw Dr. Maxwell. I said, I want to come here and have this be a part of it. One thing growing up, everybody in the community knew about Carver High School is our band would kill it, right? And so you all showed that tradition still continues. But again, so thankful for you participating. I'm very proud of Carver High School and where I came from. That's why I'm here. And I wish you all the best of success, because I know because you're Carver High School graduates, you're the bomb. And check this out. This is something, a little known fact. The triad consists of High Point, Greensboro, Kernersville, Winston-Salem, right? 2 of the 4 police chiefs are graduates of Carver High School. The chief of police in Kernersville is also a graduate of Carver High School. We do it big. But again, thank you for being a part of this, because Carver is a big part of my life and part of my upbringing. You know when you lift weights that it knocks your shot off. Yeah, thank you. I probably hit this on the first time. I threw some iron up and then hit my first shot. Come on, if that don't make me a Carver legend, what do I have to do? I'm a proud student of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system. I started my elementary career at Cash Elementary School. I went to Walkertown Middle School, and then I went to and graduated from Carver High School. My Carver High School years set the foundation for who I am. I got in trouble there. I did good things there. I was guided and I was directed in the right directions with such giants such as Assistant Principal Vic Johnson, who one year told me, hey, if you don't get your act together, you're gonna get a year off. I remember Mr. Clifton, the guidance counselor, and walking up to him one day and saying, hey, how does one quit school? And he told me to walk through that door and keep walking. He knew I wasn't gonna quit school. However, what he was letting me know is that a bad decision isn't going to change the world. So you can make these poor decisions if you want. The world's going to continue. That's why I ride so hard for Carver High School. And what you'll see is many other Yellow Jackets ride hard for Carver as well because of our experiences. It's no coincidence that 2 of the 4 triad police chiefs are graduates of Carver High School, and that's myself and Chief Tilley in Kernersville. So Carver High School means a lot to a lot of us. I really applaud them for what they did from me and my upbringing. I would love to say that from the age of 5 years old, I knew I wanted to be the police chief in Winston-Salem, but that's not my story. My story is that I did have an interest in law enforcement because growing up, I had never seen a police officer in my community. I often joked that my dad was the police chief and my mom was the sheriff, and that's all we needed in our household. However, while in college, I got a job working as a security officer at Forsyth Memorial Hospital. There I got to see police officers working off duty, and I was just in awe of their ability to keep us safe, sound, and their willingness to keep the community safe. They recruited me, and I applied and I joined the Winston-Salem Police Department. My first day was December 29th, 1997. And as a pre-hire, I got to work in the building before rookie school started in the domestic violence unit. From there, I had to go through rookie school just like anyone else. Of course, it was challenging. However, I made it through. And so in the fall of 1998, I started as a patrol officer. My first beat was in Easton in southeast Winston-Salem. Shortly thereafter, I moved to 350 beat, which was Happy Hill Gardens. I worked there for about 5 years, came off patrol, then went right back as a foot patrol officer in Happy Hill Gardens. While I was a foot patrol officer, it transitioned to street crimes, where we started doing quick reactions to any problems in the community. So that was all in District 3. Sometime after that, I moved to Vice and Narcotics, where I was a narcotics detective for several years before being promoted to sergeant. When I was promoted to sergeant, I went right back to the southeast and worked at Easton area in South Winston-Salem. I did that, and then I was moved to the north side of Winston-Salem as a patrol sergeant, followed by a short stint in, at the time it was crime prevention, now it's our community resource unit, and then moved to to recruiting, where I was a recruiting sergeant for several years. As you can probably see, I got to do several things throughout the agency. I was promoted to a patrol lieutenant outside after recruiting, and I worked the east side of Winston-Salem as well as the west side. Sometime after that, I went right back to Special Investigations Division, where I was the commander. After a couple years there, I was promoted to captain, and where I commanded District 1, which is the northwest part of Winston-Salem. Short time after that, I was promoted to assistant chief, where I commanded the Support Service Bureau, which is mostly all of our professional staff as well as recruiting and training. And then I was moved to the Investigative Service Bureau, where I commanded our Criminal Investigations Division, Special Investigations Division, as well as Forensics. And then on January 30th, 2023, I was promoted to Chief of Police. I like to brag about the fact that as a patrolman, I've worked every district in this community. So one might ask me, how would I measure my success as Chief of Police? I believe in leaving something better than you found it. So trying to keep the agency moving in a positive direction. I want to continue with crime reduction. I want to continue with community engagement. And I want to help build up staffing. If I've done those things while I'm chief, then I consider it a success, and I gladly pass it on to the next Chief of Police, who I truly believe should be internal, and they take it from there.